Hi, welcome to another episode of The Young and the Restless. Today's episode opened up with Nick running into Summer at Noah's club. They discuss the honeymoon. Nick asks why she looks miserable. Summer then tells Nick about the drama with Diane. We then go over to Jabot. We see Diane runs into Kyle. He tells her that he had a wonderful time on his honeymoon. Diane asks to talk to Kyle. Kyle tells Diane that they will talk in a private place at the Jabot mansion, then leaves. We see Phyllis runs into Jack at the coffee house. Phyllis gloats about how she was right about Diane all along. We then see Jack goes off on Phyllis in defense of Diane. Back over at Noah's club, we see Summer questions her dad about his relationship with Sally. She wants her dad to stay away from Sally. Nick then tells Summer that he has good news. Sally and Chloe has been fired from Newman Media and tells Summer that him and Sally are currently on a break. Back at the coffee house, we see Jack tells Phyllis to show compassion for Diane and blames her for bringing out the truth. Phyllis tells Jack that she wants Diane out of town so that everyone can move on from her. Jack defends Diane. Phyllis tells Jack that there is more secrets to come. They can never trust Diane. However, Jack keeps defending Diane. Then Phyllis realizes that Diane has Jack completely sucked in. Back at the Abbott mansion, we see Diane gives Kyle her victim story. Diane claims that she didn't have a choice. Kyle gets furious on her. He tells her that she has massively lied to him. We then see Diane brings out her tears and manipulation on Kyle. Kyle then says that he's not sure that he can trust her at the moment. Over at Society, we see Ashley reflect on her prior talk with Tucker on how he met Diane in LA. We then see Tucker arrives at Society and sees Ashley. Back at Jabot, Kyle is angry at Diane and is questioning his decision to put stock in her. Diane claims that she came clean because it was catching up to her on the inside, but Kyle shuts her down and says it's because she was in fear that someone else will spill the truth. Back at the coffee house, Jack continues of accusing Phyllis of not giving Diane a chance. All she does is goes digging for information on Diane. Jack tells Phyllis he felt like they would be better off without knowing the truth about Diane. At that point, I'm like, Jack, you're stupid. You are sucked in by Diane. Ashley then tells Tucker that she was thinking about him. Tucker gloats about it. He smiles that she has not completely shut him down. Back at the coffee house while Phyllis and Jack are arguing, Summer arrives and interrupts them. Jack then leaves. Back at the Abbott house, Diane claims that it wasn't a defensive move on her part to tell Jack. However, Kyle doesn't believe her. Kyle feels betrayed that she would hide things from him after she claimed she wouldn't. We now see Diane start switching the blame to Tucker and said that she kept the secret because of Tucker. And she claims that she come clean because she want to break free from Tucker. We then see Diane go back into her victim crying, saying that she doesn't want to lose Kyle and Harrison again. Then we see a watery-eyed Kyle. We then see at Society, Ashley tells Tucker he will not take up any more space in her brain. She's moving on and moves past what he did, and that she has forgiven him. Tucker then gets suspicious. Back at the Abbess house, we see Kyle express his disappointment in Diane and asks for time to think about it. Back at the coffee house, Phyllis tells Summer she is frustrated Jack is giving Diane a chance, but goes at her, Phyllis, all the time and thinks that her deeds are more wrong than Diane's. She then asks Summer how does she feel about it. Summer says the decision is on Kyle. Phyllis asks her how she really feels. Then Summer admits that her mom is right and Diane needs to go. We then see Phyllis leaves and run into Nick at Noah's club. Jack then goes home and runs into Diane there, claims she spoke to Kyle but she wanted to spend time with Harrison after she leaves. We see Diane tries to plea and play victim to Jack. We see then Jack tells Diane that he doesn't want to discuss anything with her and leaves. Over at Jabot, Summer tells Kyle about the argument between Jack and Phyllis, tells him that Phyllis is not going to give up. Kyle tells her about the confrontation he had with Diane. She asks Kyle how does he feel and how are they going to move forward. We then see at the club Phyllis asks Nick to be honest with her and give him the opinion about her. She asks him if she is destructive, vindictive, and a bad person. Nick says no. Phyllis says she's tired of being blamed for all the mess. Says it's getting to her. Back at Jabo, Kyle tells Summer he felt betrayed. Then he starts defending his mother. Kyle says he gets his mom and what she did. Summer then expressed that they should not trust Diane again. Over at the mansion, we see Harrison wakes up and he has a fever. Back at society, Ashley says she doesn't mind trying to figure out what is happening with her emotions. Tucker then claims that she is using his feelings to uncover his agenda. He questions why Ashley is lowering him in. Ashley then asks if he has nothing to hide, why does he care? Episode ends with Tucker saying the challenge is accepted. Thanks for watching. See you next week.